This video contains spoilers from Kamen Rider Ryuki. Don't watch this video if you haven't seen the series. Until now, enjoy. After watching Ryuki, some of you, including me, can be confused by the ending. Hey guys, it's Baron and welcome to an episode of Tokuthology. In this video, we will explain the lore of the alternate timelines of Kamen Rider Ryuki. But what is with the alternate endings? Rumors circulated that because Ryuki was in low ratings, Kamen Rider was in near cancellation. So the producers had to rush the ending, but eventually the franchise didn't get cancelled and Ryuki continued on. But again, it's a rumor. Alright, let's give a quick exposition on what the Ryuki series is about. Let's try to get this under a minute. The story follows Shinji Kido, a lazy reporter who finds a card deck. He gets sucked into a mirror and later meets a man named Ren, Kamen Rider Knight. Shinji makes a contract with a red dragon named Dragretter and becomes Kamen Rider Ryuki. Ryuki and Knight are Kamen Riders who are forced to fight in the Rider War, civilians becoming riders and fighting to the death until one victor remains, gaining only one wish. Shinji, Ren, and their comrade Yui would later meet the crooked cop Scissors, the egotistical lawyer Zolda and his butler, a fortune teller ally named Raya, the gamer Guy, the sociopathic murderer Oja, yearning to be a hero Tiger, and the money desperate Emperor. We would later be introduced to the survive modes, meet alternatives, pseudo riders invading the Rider War, Eri, who's Ren coma stricken fiance and his reason to fight in the Rider War, Yui being Kenzaki's sister, and the 13th Rider Odin, who wishes to challenge the surviving Rider. Plus, Yui is somewhat involved with the creation of the Rider War and crap. Phew! I'm glad I got everything under a minute. This video will be focusing on the 4 different timelines. We will not be including the SIC novels, Advent Calendar, and World of If. Alright, to start off explaining each timeline, let's start with the Ryuki special, 13 Riders. 13 Riders is an alternate retelling of the series. Basically, the difference between the series and the special is how Shinji got his deck, how Raya admitted he loved Eri in the past, the plot device called the Core Mirror, and if destroyed, it could also destroy the Mirror World. Wait, it's a blanket! The special also marks the debut of Kamar Verde, and his only appearance. The 13 Riders special is actually kind of pointless and doesn't have anything to do with the continuity of the series. It's possible this world could be related with Kenzaki using Time Vent. It marks the early debut of Fem and Ruga, but we'll get back to them. In the crossfire of the battle, Shinji got his deck destroyed and Ren is injured and is about to die. Ren in his dying moments gives Shinji his deck and Shinji becomes Knight. Shinji as Knight is about to destroy the core mirror, but doesn't know if he should continue fighting or end the fighting. He chooses not to destroy the mirror world and continues fighting. As the other riders begin to perform their final vent, Shinji charges after them. What a grim ending. But what if Shinji had destroyed the core mirror? 13 Riders had the viewer decide on the ending, just like what Kamen Rider Tyson did many years after the series ended. The broadcasted ending was the most voted ending, but let's see the other ending. Basically, like last time, Shinji got his deck destroyed and Ren is injured and is about to die. Ren in his dying moments gives Shinji his deck and Shinji becomes Knight. Shinji as Knight is about to destroy the core mirror, but doesn't know if he should continue fighting or end the fighting. After destroying the core mirror, everyone in the battlefield just shattered, including Shinji himself. Shinji wakes up in the real world and later discovers that the Rider War will never end, and screams in public as dozens of civilians watch him. We have established 13 Riders does not take place in the main continuity of the series. Let's slide through the 2 remaining timelines. Why don't we start with the alternate ending? The movie, episode, final. Ryuki's summer movie should take place somewhere around after the events of episode 46. Odin doesn't appear in the movie, though the battle was left incomplete, and something happens to Gonzaki. Eri wasn't mentioned in the movie, though she didn't really matter in the current event. The movie starts off making Shinji, Ren, and Yui telling ghost stories. Shinji's story is quite interesting. He mentions a childhood memory of a strange girl he played with once. The next day, Shinji and his colleague Reiko help a woman named Miho Kirishima to catch her swindling husband, only to find out that Miho is also a swindler, who stole Shinji's wallet. Miho also turns out to be another writer, Kamen Rider Fem, the first official female writer, and is quite a badass. Later, Kenzaki gathers some of the remaining writers and told them about the time limit on the Rider War, and the battle has to be settled sooner. Also, Takeshi Asakura, Kamura Oja, was the one who killed Mio's sister. In the movie, we see cameos of the idol cast and maybe romantic moments from Shinji and Miho until she was caught grabbing his dick. I mean, deck! I'm sorry, it's deck. Yui would later reveal that she was the one who created the mirror monsters. When Yui was a child, a friend of her never showed up for a playdate in a rainy day. Little Yui would meet her mirror counterpart and would later find out that if she exits the mirror world, she'll die. Mirror Yui offered to give her life force to Yui, but she'll die at the age of 20. During the battle of Fem and Oja, a black Ryuki later appears. Miho thinks it's Shinji because Shadow the Hedgehog. Black Ryuki kicks Oja's ass, with Fem being the one to finish him off, avenging her sister. Due to Zolda's medical condition, he decides to forfeit the battle and go on a date with Shinji's colleague Reiko. Anyways, the Black Ryuki, or Kamura Ruga, starts assaulting Fem. Ren thinks Ruga is Shinji because, well, it was dark out, but the real Shinji manages to save Miho on time. Shinji and Miho have one last conversation and leave on good terms. Then, Miho dies due to her injuries. Wait, what? She was the first female rider! God damn it, Toy. Yui figures out that the victor of the Rider War's life would be given to her. Later, Shinji realizes that Yui was a strange girl he met back when he was a child, and by extension, he was also the reason why the Rider War happened. Shinji meets his mirror counterpart and accidentally merges with him, causing Mirror Shinji to exist in the real world. Yui spends her last moments celebrating her birthday with Kanzaki and dies. As Kanzaki fades, his screams cause every building in Japan to shatter their mirrors. Shinji separates himself from his mirror counterpart and fights him. Both perform their rider kicks, with the real Shinji surviving in one piece. Somehow, a horde of mirror monsters escape from the mirrors. Ren tells Shinji that he is his only friend, and the two transform into their survival modes and charge directly at the monsters. And this is where the movie ends. Kanzaki gathers the remaining riders and tells them they have 3 days to sell Victor. As Yui attempts to stop her brother, Kanzaki takes her away until the battle's over. Shinji and Ren would eventually find her, and we would then learn her backstory. The Kanzaki siblings' parents locked them up in an attic all day, and all they did was draw. Once little Yui succumbed to an illness, Mirror Yui offered to give her life to Yui, but will die at the age of 20. Mirror Yui enters Yui's body, but the result causes an explosion in the Kanzaki home, killing the siblings' parents in the process. As Yui stayed with her grandmother, Shiro was adopted by an American family. Sadly, Yui's age limit has reached its max, and she fades away. Meanwhile, Soichi Kataoka, Kamura Zoda, plans on forfeiting the battle, but couldn't unless he sells his score with Asakura. In the city, a horde of raid dragoons appear, and Shinji gets brutally injured after protecting a little girl. After Ryuki and Knight defeat some of the monsters in the mirror world, Shinji begins to succumb to his wounds. His wish was to seal the mirror world, and despite Ren telling him to hold on, Shinji dies. Asakura transforms into Oja to fight Zelda and finally defeats him, but it wasn't Kataoka, it was his butler Goro. Kataoka succumbed to his illness and died, but it doesn't mean Asakura got off lucky, as he was gunned down by police after the battle. Odin is the last comrade to fight, Kanzaki's puppet, as his stand-in. Knight fights Odin, but as Kanzaki realizes his misdeeds, Odin disappears, and Knight is crowned victor of the Rider War. Eri wakes up to see Ren motionless, but is he okay? Kanzaki doesn't want to end the war, but he spends his last moments with Yui with their younger selves, coloring. In the present day, everything is back to normal. Shinji is alive, along with the casualties of the Rider War. Shinji and Ren meet briefly with no memory of their experiences together. You see, this brand new day is another timeline. Yui still died since Mirror Yui never took her place. The timelines have reset. Time to answer the question. What the hell just happened? Did they reset the timeline? What's with these multiple endings? Kanzaki had been shown manipulating the Rider War to grant Yui her life. It's been strongly implied that Kanzaki had been using Time Vent to reset the battle over and over again. The 4 timelines we just passed through have been different endings, with Ryuki's series finale being the absolute true ending of the story. But which version of Shinji is the one that appears in later crossovers? Let's get into the theories. A common theory I hear is that since Decade is usually involved with the crossovers, could it be the AR version of Ryuki? I have to debunk this theory. AR Ryuki was out of the picture once his world was merged to become the world of the Rider War, and there was another Ryuki at the end of the show that was most likely the original Shinji. So no, AR Ryuki is not crossover Ryuki. In my headcanon, crossover Ryuki could be the episode final version. Episode final did end in a cliffhanger. Did Shinji and Ren survive the Horde of Raid Dragoons? If they did survive, no pun intended, it's possible Shinji would continue to fight alongside his fellow riders in future crossovers. The Kamen Rider Brave special also shed some light into this. Asakura is revived despite him already being alive in the reset timeline. There's a line Asakura mentioned that implied he encountered Mio's sister. Episode final Ryuki being the crossover Ryuki is the most likely theory I would believe. If you want a real answer, to be honest, I don't think there needs to be an absolute answer. Ryuki is an ambiguous series with multiple endings, and it's a mystery for us to figure that out. Crossover Ryuki could be the one from episode final, or the one from the 13 Riders endings. I don't know. I would say, no matter who's the Ryuki in later crossovers, Shinji Ikeda will always be there, expressing his ideals and putting his heart to fight for what's right. It will always be his fate to obtain his Rider deck, contract with Dragetter, and fight as Kamen Rider Ryuki, no matter what. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down below if you have any more questions, give this video a like, and subscribe for more Tokuthology episodes. I'm Baron, and I'm signing out.